Testing 1, 2, 3. Good morning. Welcome back to Crypto Warehouse. It's 11 a.m. It is the 3rd of April. We are live. We are going to go over the carnage that has been the crypto markets over the last 24, 36 hours. We have a busy show again today. We're going to go over the US dump. Are the US government about to dump the Silk Road Bitcoin that they've been holding? We're going to have a look at that. Goldman sucks. No, it's not a typo. We're going to have a look at the nonsense sprouting out from their PR department. We're going to have a look at Charles and his accusations that blockchains are bribing projects to build on their chains. We're going to have a look at Wormhole, which, as far as I'm aware, is going live in about 2 or 3 hours' time. The token airdrop is going live in 2 or 3 hours' time. Then we're going to have a look at Bohm, Book of Meme. Is it going to get to 5 cents? We're going to have a look at that, and then we're going to give you our final thoughts. And today we're probably going to look at the Bitcoin chart, we're going to look at the ADA chart, and we're going to look at the Book of Meme charts. But before we begin, we always put our money where our mouth is, and Brogan has longed Bitcoin. I don't know what price he got in at. In the 65,000, maybe 65.5. If you're on our Telegram group, you will know that we posted up where we thought the bottom was going to be last night. There was a CME gap that we dipped into, and we spent a good few hours there. That's now been filled. Brogan has longed. He's doing a live stream tonight. He's going to do some live trading tonight at 9 o'clock, or 8 o'clock, should I say. That's 9 hours from now. It's not in all of the calendars. We will be adding it after the show, so you'll be able to. Then we have different streams, I think. I recognize you from different places. Good morning to you all. I hope you're all having a nice day. And unfortunately, some of the chats get filled with spam, and we are unable to see everything, but we know you're there. That's the most important thing. We know you're there. So let's get on then and have a quick look at the charts and see where we are. Bitcoin coming in at 66.6. Jason Casper last night had a target of $66,666 for his price for Bitcoin, and we are almost there. So Jason will be very happy. So we're coming in at 66.6. Ethereum is 33.50. Tether, Solana, we don't need to go through that. But some of the coins, bear in mind, they're still up over the 7-day period. Even Doge, Ton, Solana, they're all up. Good morning, Tata. I hope you're doing well. Now, this is where we see some absolutely smashed to pieces coins, which we're going to have a look at. But let's start with the gainers. So Athena launched yesterday across all of the different exchanges. It is a algorithmically backed stablecoin project, and I made a video about it, and I made my point, well, my case very clear that I will not be holding my Athena tokens that I have been given. So I sold them at, I think I got 70 or 80 cents. I don't really care what the price goes to. I'm not a fan of the project. Other people out there will probably like it. That's perfectly fine. I make videos based on my opinions. Obviously, they're not financial advice. Good morning to Par, and that's going to the moon. I can't mention certain things because of certain restrictions I have, but thank you anyway. Flare is up. Book of Meme is up 15.5% in the last 24 hours. Remember when I said 1.1 cent was a good time to get into Book of Meme? I think you'd have made about 60% profit by now if you'd have followed on that case. ICP is up 11%, Near Protocol 10. Dog with Hat will not lie down and go to sleep. It keeps going up. It is madness. I know it's ripping. I know you're all making bags of cash out of Dog with Hat, but it's a $4 billion market cap. I'm going to keep saying that. Injective and Core is still pumping. Now, I'm sure we're going to see some terrible losers. We're not actually going to see some terrible losers. This isn't too bad, actually. So Maker is down a bit. Aptos, Carver, not really too many losers today. I was expecting to see a whole lot more. But the markets appear to have recovered quite well. So where are we with volume? We're back over 120 billion. Dominance still 52% and 16%. Good morning, Daniel. Welcome back. Market cap 2.52 trillion. So as we were, right, let's get on very quickly and have a look at some X files. Trying to make sure I haven't missed anything out. I don't think I have. Gary is on Aptos as well, really. For those of you that don't know, the Gary network, I made a video about it probably 3 or 4 weeks ago. Project is very good. Technology is very good. Needs to work on its marketing. That was my fairly honest opinion. Now, this is one for a very special viewer out there, which is Tariq and Litecoin. He never gave up on Litecoin. He went back. He carried Litecoin to the helicopter. It was injured. It was wounded. He never gave up on it. And now Litecoin is ripping on the news, potentially, that Litecoin could be the next ETF after Ethereum. I know. I can't believe those words came out of my mouth either. So Litecoin is well ahead of the altcoin pack in the past 24 hours, powered by significantly higher transaction volume than usual. More importantly, the average of LTC investments is getting younger, indicating whales are moving more coins back into circulation. I did buy some Gary, yes, only a small bag. Now, I'm not a fan of Litecoin, but if it does get the approval to be an ETF, then Litecoin is going to rip. And that is no... I remember when Litecoin was like $300. So Litecoin has a long way to go. The chances of it getting its ETF are probably very high because people don't really know about Litecoin. So it's likely to happen. So tomorrow, big day. I'm going to make a video about this after the stream anyway. So if you don't manage to write everything down, I'm making a video about it. If you have been taking part in the Jupiter voting, the Zeus token, which was one of the 2 tokens that won the first vote, they are dropping their tokens tomorrow. The link is here. I'm going to put the link under the video when I make it later. There is a lot of controversy about how this token has been allocated. It has not been done linearly. There are people that held 1,000 dupe that have been given the same as people that have held 400 dupe, the same as people who've been given 100 dupe, voted with 100 dupe. So it's a bit controversial. They haven't done it in a linear fashion, and there has been an awful lot of confusion. But I will say this. It's the first vote on Jupiter. Things are going to go wrong, and that's just the way life is. I'm sure by the 4th, 5th, and 6th votes, everything will be running smoothly, but this has been, in my opinion, a little bit of a cock-up. Now then, we don't want to say this too loudly, because we might wake the spirits of Peter Schiff. So we're going to whisper this, but gold is on the up. Bitcoin has still been on this crazy 10-week, 8-week, whatever it is, since the middle of January run, and gold is now starting to make a comeback. So if you look at the chart here, the blue line is inflows into, this is trading volume of the different Bitcoin and gold. So blue is Bitcoin, white or gold, or whatever color it is on my screen, is gold. As you can see, gold is starting to pick up and Bitcoin is starting to cool down. Now, we don't know where we're going to go. There is talk about it possibly being an early sign of Bitcoin buying exhaustion. I'm not too sure whether I buy into that or not. I think the Fed making decisions is having more of an impact on the ETFs than anything else, because there is some deliberation. Maybe we're going to have higher interest rates for longer. Maybe we're going to have 2 rate cuts this year, not 3. So it's causing a lot of consternation in the market, and that might be a reason for the cool-off. And we did see a few sell-offs yesterday. I think we've actually got the information here. So this should give us the breakdown of what happened yesterday. And when ETFs sell, the price of Bitcoin tanks. It's just the way it is. So the intros will be interesting. Bitcoin was down 7% and trading volume was lighter than expected. So this Hodl Capital have posted up what has been outflowing. So ARK was down 87 million yesterday. GBTC was only down 82 million. Now this has been running at 200 or 300 million a day. So to see only $82 million in outflows is a good sign, believe it or not. And this is the breakdown of the GBTC outflows. It's been pretty dramatic over the last few days. And what tends to happen is GBTC sells, Grayscale sells, and BlackRock buys. So keeping an eye on this shows you where we're going to go. Now, if we've only seen a small amount of outflows for the day, it means that maybe tomorrow, maybe the day after, maybe Thursday, maybe Friday this week, we will start to see an uptick. So finally here, BlackRock saw 2,278 Bitcoins added to their pile yesterday. Now, don't forget, there's only 900 a day being made. As of April the 20th, that will be 450. Mr. 100 is buying 900 a day. BlackRock, even on a very bad day, is buying 2,278. It doesn't matter if short-term price action is to the downside. Over a 3, 6, 12-month period, we're going to run out of Bitcoin. I'm going to keep saying it until we get to a price where we find equilibrium. I don't care if we go to $57 or $55 or $53,000. There is not enough Bitcoin to fill demand at any price. In fact, the lower the price of Bitcoin goes, the more Bitcoin is bought for the money. There are less Bitcoin being bought when it's at $70,000 and there's $100 million of buys. If it's at $60,000 and there's $100 million of buys, that's an extra 10, 12% of Bitcoin being bought by that $100 million. So the lower the price of Bitcoin, if the volume coming in stays the same, more Bitcoin gets bought. It's just simple economics. So I know people are calling for $40,000, but people call for the end of the world every day, and we wake up every morning. At some point, maybe in 2 million years, they're going to be right, but they're not going to be right today. They're not going to be right tomorrow. And these people, remember, we've got Gareth Soloway and people like that calling for $25,000 Bitcoins, $30,000 Bitcoins, because it's clickbait. It sells their services. You know, if Bitcoin's going up, it would be easy for me to make a video saying $250,000 Bitcoin by the end of the year, and then everyone will watch it. And then if the price of Bitcoin starts to go down and I make Bitcoin is dead, Bitcoin's going to $10,000, you're going to watch the video to find out why. It's clickbait. So people jump on either side. If we have slightly bearish days, we're going to zero. If we have slightly bullish days, we're going to $1 million. There's no in between. Morning, Fran. Welcome to the stream. So, dump incoming. US authorities have moved their Bitcoin stash seized from Silk Road. So, Zach XBT, we mentioned him quite a lot. He's one of the good guys. He finds the naughty people and reports them to the police. He has tracked the US government's Bitcoin wallet, and they sent a test transaction yesterday to an exchange. They sent 0.001 Bitcoin to an exchange. They got 2 billion in Bitcoin, which is 30,100 Bitcoin. Now that would make a dent if it was sold on one day. Now, bear in mind, when we talked about ETFs in the past, we talked about the fact that they have to buy their Bitcoin at spot. They can't buy it OTC, so it moves the price of Bitcoin. If the American government want to sell 30,000 Bitcoin, they will probably do it OTC, over the counter, which means that somebody will buy that 30,000 Bitcoin off them without it going through the exchange, because that doesn't impact the price. That is likely to happen in these cases, and we've seen it time and time again. You see these really large whales that will buy 10,000, 20,000 Bitcoin. They'll do it OTC. Now, that's a good thing, because it's not going to harm the price, but it's a bad thing because the news are talking about it as if the price of Bitcoin is going to go down because we've had a few bearish days. Bitcoin isn't probably going to be dented by this. So Arkham Intelligence shows that US authorities sent the Bitcoin holdings to another government-tied address in March. They sold 10,000 Bitcoin. The Bitcoin stash held by the authorities was seized in November 2022 when James Zong was arrested. He hacked Silk Road in 2012 and stole 50,000 Bitcoin from them. The news didn't affect the Bitcoin prices, with the largest crackdown by 0.2%. So I'm not worried about this. And I think, in all honesty, the government of America selling off all of these types of Bitcoin holdings is a good thing, because once it's done and it's gone, we're going to stop seeing headlines like this and we're going to move on. It's not going to dump the price if it's bought OTC. That's what you have to remember. It's not going to dump the price. What will dump the price is if the Fed comes out and is hawkish, the Fed changes its mind, stock market collapse, black swans. There's plenty of other things to worry about, okay? But there's no bogeyman in your wardrobe or under your bed that's going to sell these 30,000 Bitcoins and dump the price today or tomorrow. Now, where are we then in terms of Bitcoin's price action? Well, we've got a few lines in the sand, and we almost came down to touch them. Now, I think Brogan's edited these charts just a tad. He had a bottom target yesterday of 63,900, 63,800. Good morning, Tariq. I hope you managed to catch the news about Litecoin. If you didn't, you can watch it back, but it's positive. So we had a bottom target of 63.8. We came down to 64.5. So we didn't quite reach the bottom that Brogan was expecting. Now, the CME gap was, I think, between 60, I think it was 64 and 67,000. That's where the CME gap was, I think. Now, if we filled that gap, and I do have a chart to show, but I'm not going to bring it up at the minute because we're trying to get through the show in an hour, so there's no point. But there was a CME gap. It's now been filled. Now, CME gaps, they are like arch nemesis because I never pay any attention to them because they only come up once in a while. Now, a CME gap happens when, let's say, the price of Bitcoin closes at $62,000 on a Friday in America. That's when the mercantile exchange closes. Now, if it opens at $65,000 on the Monday, that creates a CME gap, a gap in the price between $62,000 and $65,000. Now, it doesn't happen every day or every week or even every month, but it does happen. So what you'll see is you will see this buy order and sell order, this gap, and it normally fills. We had one at 25,000 when we were at 30-something thousand, and people were saying, we're going to come down and fill it, and we never did. So it doesn't happen all the time. But in this instance, we weren't so far away that we didn't fill it. So now we have, and now we should see some price movements to the upside. Now, I highlighted this yesterday. The RSI is now in a healthy position. And the last time the RSI was this high, we did this movement. Now, I'm not saying we're going to move this high, but I am expecting us to get back towards maybe this volume area here, which is at 67,200. Now, I know it's not a huge move up, but there is various different levels of resistance along the way, and 66.6 is a level of resistance. So we need to take baby steps to get back. We're not going to shoot up today unless there is a $500 million buy order from the ETFs today. We're not going to shoot straight back up, but we could move back up to this range, 67.2, and then there's a little gap there back to 68.5. So that's the kind of road to recovery. And remember, we're at $66,500. You only have to go back to the 2nd of March, a month ago. A month ago, we're at 63.8. and we were thinking, we're going to have, are we going to get back? Are we going to go up? Are we going to get above this 65,000? And we did, and we broke down again, and we bounced, and we've gone up, and we've come down. We're all in this choppy wave now. We're likely to see a move up. Is it going to be quick? I don't know, but 67 is the next line, and it's only $600 away, I know, but when the market has had such a sudden drop, I mean, if you look in a 2-day period, we've gone from 71.2 all the way down to 64.5. Now what's that, a 10% drop in 2 days? So we could recover, but let's try and take it easy. Let's see if we can get back towards 67, and then we get back to 68.5, and then we take it from there. But these things happen. I mean, if you look here, this was a huge recovery straight after. This was a huge recovery straight after. So it has happened. I'm not saying it won't, but I'm not going to sit here and tell you that my target of 74,000 in the bottom right-hand corner, I'm not going to tell you that's going to happen tomorrow. I did expect it by the end of the week. And if you look at the direction we were going this week, if you take that out, we were going up in a nice orderly higher highs, and then bang, we came down. So I'm not saying we're going to be at 74,000 this week. It would have been nice. There's my target up there, 74.8. Morning, Solo Sky. That was my target, 74.8. And you might think we're nowhere near it, but we're 5, 6, 7 days away from it. Look at the moves we've had in the last few weeks. We've moved from 63 to 72. That's a $9,000 move. We've gone from 63 again up to 70, $7,000 move. So you do a $7,000 move from here, and we're at 73.4, which is here, which is kind of back towards our all-time highs. So it can happen very quickly. And I know the news is bearish, but remember, they always go after the most trending news. It's just human nature. If we're going down, we're going to zero. If we're going up, we're going to $1 million. It's just the way people play out. Now, this is the biggest pile of rubbish I've read, probably in a couple of weeks. 1 second. Right. Goldman Sachs clients not interested in crypto, says Chief Investment Officer. What a load of garbage. What a pile of rubbish. Are they the only people in the universe that don't want to buy Bitcoin apart from Peter Schiff? Is there a room somewhere where Peter Schiff and all of the Goldman Sachs clients sit there in front of a screen that says Bitcoin is bad on some kind of flashing loop? Because they're the only people in the world that don't want to buy Bitcoin. Now, of course, there will be people who might think it's a scam or might think it's not worth the level of investment needed. But once you've educated yourself onto what Bitcoin actually does and how scarce it is, if you read the white paper of Bitcoin, and then you read The Economy of Money, and then you watch a couple of people who talk about why Bitcoin was created, within about 10 hours, you're going to get this kind of goosebump moment when you realize you don't have enough Bitcoin. Now, that sounds really Bitcoin maxi, I know, but it's a store of value, and it is meant to be a hedge against inflation and against the American dollar, which is the world reserve currency. And when you understand how it works and the fact that it can't be controlled by governments, it has a finite supply, the halving is coming in April 2024, April 2028, April 2032. When you understand we're at the end, really, of inflation for Bitcoin, and then you add in all of this new demand, you suddenly realize that you don't know where the end of Bitcoin is going to be. You really don't know what Bitcoin is going to go to. It could be at $10 million in 10 years' time. It could be at $1 million in 10 years' time. There is no idea really on where it's going to go. But we know over a long period of time, because it's an inflation hedge, the more money that's printed, the more dollars that are printed, the more Bitcoin will inflate to keep up with the level of money printing, not just from the dollars, but from the euro, from the pound, the yen, whatever other currency you want to compare it to. And if you look at currencies like the Turkish lira, which has been shot to pieces, you look at the Turkish lira Bitcoin chart, it's scary what Bitcoin can now buy in the Turkish currency. So you need to read about it. Now for Goldman Sachs to turn around and say this, what they're basically saying is our clients are idiots. That's what they're saying. That's how I read this article. Even after the recent surge in prices and involvement from other TradFi giants, the bank maintains its belief. Now that's probably the headline. The bank maintains its belief. Okay? It's not the belief of its clients, it's the belief of the bank. Now, different banks go through different stages. They ignore you, they mock you, they fight you, they adopt you. We're probably now at the stage where it's too big for Goldman Sachs to ignore. So they're going to mock it. They're going to say it's worthless. Remember, BlackRock said the same thing 4 years ago. BlackRock's now got the biggest Bitcoin ETF. If you want to see hypocrisy in play, look at BlackRock. Now, why do they do that? Because they see it as a threat. Then BlackRock suddenly goes, you know what? We could actually own a big chunk of this. We can actually own a big piece of this pie. And then they go after it, and then they want all of it. This is what I've been saying about the ETFs. At this moment in time, they've got Bitcoin. That's 52% of crypto. They want 100% of crypto. They want Ethereum and Solana and XRP and Cardano. They want them all. They want to own them because they are a financial powerhouse and they want to own everything. Goldman Sachs, clearly late to the party, clearly in the stage where they just want to take it out, and it's way too late. So then, Sharmin Mossaver Rahmani says clients have not voiced interest in exposure to the asset class even after the latest surge in prices. That's because, Sharmin, you're not answering the phone and you're not answering emails to them. I don't believe for 1 minute that Goldman Sachs don't have anybody that wants to buy Bitcoin. What a load of nonsense. I think that's the end of the article. Oh no, we've got more of it. It's one of the few banks that is interested in Bitcoin. We do not think it is an investment asset class. We are not believers in crypto. I think he sounds like he's got his ball and nobody wants to play with him. So he's going to take his ball home and he's not going to talk to anyone. If you cannot assign a value, then how can you be bullish or bearish? She said. Well, clearly she does not understand the value of how Bitcoin works. The value of the miners, the value of the hash rate, the value of the decentralized network, the value of the energy that's gone in to create Bitcoin, the finite supply of Bitcoin, the number that are being produced. If she can't work that out, she should probably resign. She even criticized the industry for being hypocritical, saying that crypto enthusiasts all proclaim democratization of finance, yet the main decisions end up being driven by a few controlling people. Really? Can you name one person that controls Bitcoin? Name me one person that controls it. There isn't. I can name you 4 or 5 people who believe in Bitcoin. Elon Musk, Snowden, Michael Saylor. What have they all got in common? They've all got in common that they believe in democracy and free speech. And they all believe that Bitcoin can lead to financial freedom. So if Bitcoin can lead to financial freedom and Goldman Sachs don't understand that and don't believe that, what does that say about Goldman Sachs? Even BlackRock themselves have turned around and said that this is the biggest, I wouldn't say fragmentation of money the world has ever seen, but they've said it's the biggest sea change in money in 200 years. They get it. She doesn't get it. If she can't value it, that's her limitation. If she thinks that Bitcoin is controlled by one individual, she doesn't understand it. She should spend a few hours with somebody that does understand Bitcoin so they can explain it to her. And I'm not saying it's the panacea. I'm not saying Bitcoin should replace all national currencies, because that's not what it's for. It's a store of value. in my opinion, it's not an actual cryptocurrency that you should go out and be spending on coffee and bagels. Now then, our good friend Charles has come out. Now, how do we get rid? There we go. There's Charles. You wouldn't believe that that man is 30 years of age, would you? That man right there is 30 years of age. I mean, crypto can be hard, I have to admit, but crypto has been especially hard to him. Charles has explained why the Cardano project will never give funding to help crypto projects under the Cardano umbrella, and also replied to many other big questions to dismiss FUD around the Cardano blockchain. Is that Polygon? Mike, what do you think of Polygon right now? I think it's a great price. Under $1 for Polygon is a great price, in my opinion. It's the best layer 2 on Ethereum. It has all kinds of stuff going. Go and research the AG layer. And maybe I'll do a video. Maybe I'll do a segment tomorrow on the AG layer so you all understand it. Polygon is criminally undervalued. I don't know why nobody likes Polygon. Maybe it's not as sexy at the minute as Arbitrum and Optimism, but Polygon is wholly undervalued. I think it's 96, 94 cents. It should be, I don't know at this stage, maybe $1.15, $1.20, $1.25. It should be around that price. In the bull run, it's $5 or $6, but if you ignore the bull run, what's going to be here in 5 years' time? What projects are going to generate wealth and generate income? You can count them on two hands. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, the layer ones, the big layer ones. Then you've got things like Chainlink, you've got things like Polygon, you've even got things like ICP, they're going to generate revenue. You've got Fetch, Singularity, and the AI coin, that's going to generate revenue. So look at the projects. Yes, they're going to do well in the bull run. Believe you me, if Polygon gets to $7 or $8, I'm selling every single one of them. I'm not going to make no bones about that. I am here for the technology. I am here for adoption, but I am not stupid. And I am also under the impression that we're going to have a smaller cycle in terms of dip next time than this time. And then the time after, it will be a smaller dip. As the market cap grows, the dips will become shallower for the big cap coins. So Bitcoin we saw dropped 60%. Maybe in the next cycle it will drop 45%, 50%. Maybe Solana will fall 70% instead of falling 90%. I think we're going to get to that stage, and then the cycle after we might see a 30% dip in Bitcoin and a 40% dip in Solana and Ethereum. But for me, Polygon, great project. I know it's undervalued. I don't understand why. I can't see anything. There's no negative news really for me about Polygon. Its metrics are doing incredibly well. And I think, like I said in November, before it pumped in November, I think we're going to see a moon candle, a god candle on Polygon one day. They could be clever. Remember, this is not their first bull run. This is their second. If you're going to if you're going to release great news about your project, when are you going to do it? Why are Fetch, Singularity, and Ocean, why are they waiting until the 19th of... one second. Let me just bring this up for 1 second. Okay. Why are Fetch, Singularity, and... There we go. Right. Fetch, Singularity, and Ocean. I've said that 3 times now. I'm sorry. Why are they announcing their merger on the 19th of April? Because it's the day before the halving. If Polygon has 5, 6, 7 amazing joint ventures, when are they going to announce it? Do you think announcing it 17 days before the halving is the best time to do it? I don't, and I wouldn't do it if I was in a marketing department. I would say, right, we're going to have an announcement in May, July, September, November, January, March next year. That's what I would do. I would plow all of my positive PR into post-halving. Now remember, as I said, Polygon is two cycles old now, I think, maybe. This is be its third bull run. Optimism, Arbitrum haven't really had two. They've had two in some instances. Some of these new coins have had, this will be their second, should I say. In some instances, some of these projects have had one. So they're not old hats at this, and they'll probably just be announcing the news to get ahead of the game. This is what worries me about Solana. Solana's so high. $200 for Solana right now. I want to understand where Solana's going to go. Is it going to 5x? Because that's really not a great return for the next 18 months if we get that high. So I think Polygon is a great project. I think they're going to wait until the 20th, 21st, 25th of April, and that's when they're going to start their PR campaign. That's what I would do if I was Polygon. Charles, on the other hand, I don't know what Charles is up to because Charles has released no news. And Crypto Crow is going to start making videos about why Cardano is going to improve in the next 6 months. And I think those projects are wholly needed. And the issue for me is very clear. If Charles and Cardano do not carry out a PR campaign in the next 12 months, Cardano is not going to have the bull run that it should have. And all of this kind of news is not good news. Him coming out and saying they're not going to pay projects to build because it's bribery. I understand what he's saying, but that's only one view. If you have a shopping centre, and it's a big shopping centre, and it's got 500 shops in it, and you don't run any promotion, and you don't advertise it anywhere, number one, nobody's going to open a shop in your shopping centre, and number two, nobody's going to visit your shopping centre, right? Especially when half a mile down the road, you've got the Solana shopping centre with cocktail bars, nightclubs, a go-kart track, paintballs. It's got free mobile phones pretty much because they give you airdrops every day. So you've got Solana down the road and you've got Cardano. So how is he helping anybody? How is this helping Cardano? We get that you have to build the technology, and I am just as bullish on Cardano as I was last week and the week before. But this is just tying your shoelaces together, Charles. Hoskinson clarified the issue of top-down support, said that the Cardano project follows the basic concept of Bitcoin and Ethereum. This is the reason why Cardano never funds any team, works on any crypto project on the Cardano network. Cardano's founder perceives this action as akin to bribing, as project incentivizes developers to construct their products on the blockchain platform. That's why you do it, Charles. You want people to build on your blockchain, because once it's built, it's built. How do you get people? Look at Miami. Miami in America, I don't know, 40 years ago was a dump. What did they do? They had tax-free incentives to build leisure centers, apartments, timeshare places. Look at Miami today, full of tower blocks, full of tourism. What happens to that tourism? It spills over into the shops, into the restaurants, into the bars, into the excursions. That's why you do it. It's not bribery. It's market forces. So this is a bad move by Cardano. And you know, there comes a point where Charles's actions do more harm than good. And yes, people want to build on Cardano, but he needs to take his foot off the brake. He needs to bring somebody in, and that person that comes in needs to help promote Cardano, because he, at this moment in time, is doing a terrible job. And I love him. I love Cardano. The community is great. The proof of stake is fantastic. Everything about it is great, but they don't promote themselves. And if you don't promote yourselves, you don't get business. If you don't get business, you die. And that is the end of it. Now, in terms of Cardano, I've made a terrible job of selling you Cardano. I get that. But on a positive note, look at what happened when we wicked down. We beautifully bounced off its support band here. Now, if we follow the path of what's happened with Bitcoin, and we expect to see, even if it's a relief rally today, I do expect us to go back up today, 67, 68,000. I would expect good old Cardano to come back up to at least that price there, which is 62 cents. That's where I'd expect us to come up to. And then after that, let's get back to this level up here, which is 66 cents. So if you're looking at Cardano today, you've got the potential for a 10% gain. So I would be looking, and I'm not advising people do this, I would be looking to long some of these coins, or at least pick up cheap versions of these coins. Remember, 66 cents when 30th of March, we were at 66 cents. 3 days later, we came all the way down to 56 cents. So that was a good price to pick up Cardano. And remember, if you're dollar cost averaging in, look at the levels of support Cardano has got at that price. Now that gives me confidence. That gives me confidence. We've wicked down to that price 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times. That line there for me is confidence. So if we've got a confident line that we're sitting on top of, for me, we should be looking up. And again, we are not going to do this today. I don't think we're going to do this today. I think we should see this kind of recovery. Get back into this volume area, move up to this volume area, and then move back up to that price. That's what I'd like to see. I'd like to see a recovery over the next few days across crypto, which we should have, because we came down very, very quickly. I think we should recover, unless I'm completely wrong and Chairman Powell says something and absolutely kicks us in the nuts and we go to 56,000, which I don't see. I don't see. Good morning, Mert. Hello, crypto peoples. Hello to you too. Let's move on then. We've got 17 minutes to go through these next two articles. I think we've got enough time. So Wormhole, for those of you that do not know, Wormhole's W token goes live on April the 3rd, which of course is today. Now we're going to try and not read out the names of crypto exchanges because that would get us in all kinds of trouble. So we're going to go through these and self-censor ourselves. So Wormhole is a leading cross-chain protocol, as announced the upcoming launch of its much-anticipated W token. Several crypto exchanges have revealed their plans to list the token for spot trading. Wormhole had previously shared the details of the airdrop. 400,000 people will be getting, or 400,000 wallets, not necessarily people, will be getting 617 million tokens for the airdrop aimed at the community, an ecosystem benefiting early adopters across chains, Solana, Ethereum, and others. I do not have any allocation of Wormhole at all. I have checked, and I never really used wormholes or porting coins from one chain to another. I've never really done that because I just see it as a vulnerability in blockchain generally. So I've never used them, so I don't have an allocation. I'm sure many of you have. So they're going to be listed. We're not going to read any of that. We're not going to read any of that. The launch of the token is poised to be a standout event in the crypto space this year. Everybody's talking about this. Everybody's talking about this. So initially available as a Solana SPL 20 token, plans are in place to extend this to an ERC20 token on Ethereum. The tokens are trading at $1.65 pre-market, with Wormhole disclosing that 1.8 billion tokens will be in circulation at the time of the launch. Now, that gives it $1.65 with a total supply of 10 billion, gives it a fully diluted market cap of 16.5 billion. Now, just to put that into context for you, 16.5 billion puts it in 11th place. Now, of course, don't think that that's how it works, because only 1.8 billion are in circulation at the time of launch. So you still have 4 times the amount of tokens, 5 times the amount of tokens, 4 times the amount of tokens in the treasury, I suppose you want to call it. I don't even know if they've been minted. But $1.65, 1.8, that gives it a market cap of, let's call it 2.7 billion. So 2.7 billion market cap for this project would put it around about here. So around about Core and Theta. I suppose that's probably a good price for it. It does come straight out of the blue, and fair play to them. You know, I've heard of them before, I've used them before. Great. If the pre-market price is maintained until launch, the token would enter the market with nearly $3 billion capitalization, making it top 50. Now, I'm just going to show you very quickly why the market cap is so high. And that is because of the supported blockchains. I'm going to try and make this a little bit bigger so you can see. So fully integrated chains with Wormhole. Now this is one hell of a list. You've got Algorand, Arbitrum, Base, BNB Chain, Cosmos, Ethereum, Phantom. Maybe not Phantom so much anymore. You've got Optimism, you've got Polygon, you've got Solana, Sei, Sui, Terra. You've got all the chains there. So if you don't know anything about Wormhole, I would certainly advise you to go and have a look at them, because as far as I can see, this is another one of those unsexy projects which they just do things in the background, things that, you know, your average person won't understand and won't need to understand in 4 or 5 years' time, like Chainlink. Chainlink is just like oil. It just lubricates everything. Wormhole does the same thing. So I would advise you to go and check out Wormhole, understand what it does. It does benefit crypto greatly, having Chainlink and Wormhole and companies like this that help combine everything together. That's what you want. So make sure to go and check them out. I think it's going to be a good project long term. I don't know if the valuation is going to absolutely dump. If you think about it, out of those 400,000 wallets, the chances are probably 200,000 or 300,000 of them are going to want to dump. So you're going to see probably an awful lot of downward price action in the next 2 days. You saw it with Jupiter, the Jupe token. It launched at nearly $1. It fell all the way down to 45 and 50 cents until the sell pressure came away. In fact, you know what? It'd probably be a very good idea for me to show you Jupiter's price action, because I think Wormhole could follow it. I don't see this project forexing, in all honesty. I mean, again, this isn't financial advice, and I could be absolutely wrong on this. But if you look at, is this going to show me? I've got the wrong chart. 1 second. Let's see if we've got an old. I don't think we're going to find an older chart. Okay. So the token was here when it launched, about this price. I mean, we don't need to talk about 100% accuracy, but it was about $1. So look what happened on its launch day. The price came down from $1, came all the way down to 60 cents. So it lost 40%. And the token did this. All of this is sell pressure, sell pressure, sell pressure. Then we came out the other end and we've shot all the way up. We've done that. I mean, that's beautiful price action, because that's likely to do that. Now, Wormhole, in my opinion, is likely to do the same thing. It is likely to dump after launch because no matter, it's the same when we saw the token unlock for Arbitrum. With all the best intentions in the world, the price was going to drop, and the price dropped 40%. It was going to happen just because so many tokens were unlocked. This is going to cause the price to fall. Now, if you're going to buy, if you want to buy Wormhole, and I'm not condoning it, I haven't done enough research into it, then that's when you want to buy. You don't want to buy there, and you don't want to be buying up here. You want to be buying down there. So potentially after launch, what could the other option is, it does this. It launches up, rockets, then people profit take, then the price does this, and then it moves back up. So that's what I'm expecting from Wormhole. I've seen it with lots of other tokens. It's not launching. You want to understand, a lot of tokens start at 0. They're down here, and they do this, right? And because they start down here, this token is launching with a price attached to it at $1.60. So it's not like a token or a chain that's just launching. This is an existing project that's issuing a governance token. So it already has inherent value. It's not like when Sui launched, and Sui was a brand new blockchain. This already exists. It's already connected. So it already has value attached to it. So I think rather than doing this, I think it's going to just start up here, fall away, and then pump. So like I say, maybe when it comes down here, maybe you want to look at picking it up at that price down there. I don't know what that price is going to be. I don't know enough about it, but I'm just telling you what I think is going to happen. And it has happened on a lot of tokens. Pyth was another one. I think Pyth did the same thing again. It wasn't listed, but basically Pyth launched here, and again, same price action. So launch day, 65 cents. I sold at 65 cents or 62 cents. That's when I sold. Came all the way down to 22 cents. So it lost 60% of its value and then recovered. But bear in mind, you've gained, if you'd have held your Pyth from 60, let's call it 60 cents, you'd now have made a 50% gain. But I didn't want to do that because I sold all of my Pyth for Solana, and we know what Solana's done. So I made a good move in selling my Pyth, but I held my dupe, and I would probably sell my Wormhole, and I sold my Athena. You can't hold every project, but for me, I would expect on all of these coins, the Zeus airdrop is tomorrow, the 4th of April. Am I going to hold or sell it? That's a really good question, Todd. So Zeus, we said at the start of the show, Zeus is doing its airdrop tomorrow. I'm making a video about it because they've cocked up the allocations. And because they've cocked up the allocations, I'm more inclined to say that it's going to dump, because it's not a linear allocation. So if I've got 1,000 dupe, I should be getting 250 Zeus. If I've got 400 dupe, I should have got 100 Zeus. They haven't done it that way. They've not done a linear drop. So people that had 20 wallets with the same amount of dupe as somebody who has 1 wallet, the people with 20 wallets will get 10 or 15 times more Zeus. And that is wrong. So I'm going to make a video about it. I'm now more inclined. I'm 60% on the side of selling than I was. I was 100% certain I was going to hold it. And now I'm thinking, well, you've cocked up the airdrop. Now, I don't think, by the way, I don't think you get the token straight away. I've read somewhere that it's locked for 5 months. I think that's what they've said. So you get the airdrop, you claim the airdrop. As far as I'm aware, the tokens are locked up. I'll have to double check. But anyway, that's my issue with tokens that launch that are already existing projects. They tend to dump. And that's what I'm expecting from this airdrop. Now, boom! I made a video again about this a couple of weeks ago, 4 or 5 weeks ago, very critical. It got to 2.7 cents. I said it was absolute market madness. don't buy it at 2.7 cents. It fell all the way down to 1 cent. And then I said it was a good time to buy. Full disclosure, I bought BOEM. I own BOEM. I bought a bag of it. In fact, I bought 3 bags of it at about 1.1, 1.2 cents. Now, the issue with these types of tokens is after the first run up, you will tend to get a second run up. And I think we're currently at the second run up of BOEM. So we'll go through this now. So book of meme, BOEM as it's called. It's a meme token. I can't ignore meme coins because they're currently all over the place. So I can't ignore them. I'm not going to spend too long talking about them, however. I will put them in from time to time. But when I see a token price of 5 cents, you've got to remember that's going to give it a 2. It's gone up 10 or 11% in the last few days. It's doing quite well. It found its bottom, and for some reason, so I can't move at this moment in time. There are some websites that really need to work on their scripting. Right, you know what I'm going to do? It's 11:56. This isn't working. I'm going to go straight to the chart. We all know it's a meme coin run by a guy called Darknet, or is it Dark somebody? I think it's Darknet. Anyway, it's his project. So what happened? We've seen that we got all the way up to, let me just put the price in just so you can see it. Right, I think it got to there, 2.9 cents. I made the video here saying don't buy this coin, it's going to come crashing down. And luckily for me and my intuition, guess what? The price came crashing down. Came crashing down to here. And I have said that you should be looking to buy the coin about there. Now, why did I pick that price to buy the coin? Because it looks like a local bottom. It looks like a price where it found support. Let me move into the 4 hourly. That might make more sense. There we go. When you have this blow off top and the price comes crashing down, it will come crashing down and it will do this. And that is where I think the buy and sell pressure kind of, they find an equilibrium between the buy and sell pressure. So 1.1 cent was the price I told you on stream live. This is the price to pick up this meme coin, right? After this pump. Now, over the last few days, we've seen this kind of movement. Hang on. We've seen this kind of movement, right? Now that's a good sign for me. That's a sign that it's found its bottom. It's going to start moving up now. Now, to get to 5 cents is some ask, in my opinion. But I'm going to explain why it's possible. Because I think meme coins at this moment in time are hot. And when you see something start off so quickly, just give me 1 second. When you see a meme coin take off so quickly, you can't buy it at that time. Because you're gonna get wrecked. And had you bought at 2.5 cents, you'd still be down 40%. So what you need to do is wait for this retracement, which we've had. Then decide if this meme coin is one for you. Are you going to buy this meme coin? Why are you buying this meme coin? Is it a good community? Does it have a good team behind it? All of those things. So weigh those things up before you take the jump. You can't buy everything. Why did I buy Bohm at 1.1 cent? Because in all honesty, I've never seen a meme coin go to $1.4 billion in 3 days from zero. It just flew. And that hasn't been what's happened with other meme coins. So given that it had this run up, I bought it based on the fact that if it came down, I was going to buy some, which I have done. Now, the next question is, where am I going to sell? I am not going to sell at 5 cents. I am not going to hold this coin long term. I am not married to this coin. I am not going for dates with this coin. I am not having romantic spaghetti bolognese and wine with this coin. I am going to sell it probably when it gets up towards this previous all-time high. That's where I'm going to sell maybe 2/3 of it and then just sit on what's left. And if it does run up, it runs up. Now, we're going to go over here very briefly to show you why I think it could do that run. And again, ignore why I'm talking about Bohm and think about this in terms of any meme coin. So don't think I'm just talking about Bohm. I'm talking about any meme coin that you have got. If you currently hold Dog with Hat, it's at $4 billion. Okay, it's got a huge market cap. Pepe 3.1, Floki 2, Bonk 1.5. So, very similar to houses on the street. You never buy the most expensive house on the street. You always buy the worst house on the best street. So, with something like Bohm, look, we're just under $1 billion. If we went to $2 billion, we would be at the price of Floki. Is that achievable? It doesn't have anywhere near the utility of Floki, I'm going to be honest. Or Bonk, for that matter. But yes, for a new coin, it could pump. Could it pump to Pepe? Slightly harder. But look at the volume. The 24-hour volume on Book of Bohm, 1 billion. Look at the one beneath it, 200 million, 150 million, 280 million, 763 million, 851 million. The only coin that has higher volume than Book of Meme is Dogecoin. So, where is it going to go? Your guess is as good as mine, but my prediction would be somewhere between Floki and Pepe in this next run-up. And remember, there might be more than one. What we might see is something like this. Okay, so we might have a couple of peaks along the way. And that's what you need to look at with these memes. But remember, don't marry them. Don't marry them. They'll do very well for you, and you can look back and you can tell your kids, I bought Bohm and I sold Bohm and I made 300% on it, 400% on it, and your kids are going to be amazed. Okay, so that's probably going to be where I end it. It's 12:03. Don't think I'm just talking about Bohm. Think about the meme coins that you're in. And if you're looking for some hidden gems or some projects that you want to get into, go further down this list and say to yourself, when? Look at the trading volume of when. $429 million. 254 million market cap. So this is a highly traded coin. Look at Myro, no volume. Look at Slurf, which is also a big trending coin, 278. Look at Mog, no trading volume. You can look at it in one of two ways. Mog is going to rip because there's no trading volume, so when it does catch fire, it will pump. Or you can look at it and say, well, you know what, when 254 million market cap, is that going to go to $1 billion? Well, if it does, it will 4x. Think of it in those terms. So always look. Don't look at this number. This number is irrelevant. This price is totally irrelevant. It's just based on the number of coins. So don't worry about that. You want to worry about the market cap. You want to worry about the volume. They're the important things. If you're looking at Dogecoin, is Dogecoin going to 10x? If it 10x'd, it would go to 267 billion. So no, it's not going to 10x. Not in a million years. Could Dog with Hat 10x? Very unlikely. That would give it a $40 billion market cap. Too high for me personally for a meme coin at this stage. So look a bit lower down. Pick out some of these gems. Brett, people talk about Brett a lot, but he doesn't have a lot of volume. TokenFi, again, not a lot of volume. Smog came out of nowhere, 0 volume really. So do a little bit of your own research. Look at the volume, look at the market cap, look at the position. See if you can pick up any hidden gems. That's what I would do with meme coins. And a lot, you see this when you see gambling on the television. Act responsibly. If you have $100,000 in your portfolio, you should only be putting $1,000 into meme coins. I don't care what anybody else tells you. If you go down the route of throwing money at meme coins, you could get lucky and catch one. Or in 99% of the time, you are not likely to catch them. You are going to get wrecked and you're going to lose your money. I covered it yesterday on the stream. There was a guy who had put 500 sol into a project, and guess what? That project dropped 99%, and his 500 sol is now worth 6 sol. So he lost 494 times $200. What's that? I don't even know. A lot of money. He's lost a lot of money. $90,000 he's lost. Don't be like him. Do it properly. And you're on an exchange. You're watching me, more than likely watching me on an exchange. If a meme coin has made it to an exchange, it is more than likely not going to be rugged. You can't guarantee it, of course, because we had issues with Pepe. Don't try and catch all of these down here that aren't on exchanges, because probably 90% of these are going to go to zero. And we get approached by a lot of these coins over the last couple of weeks asking us to do giveaways, AMAs and things like that. And yes, we will at some point pick up the odd one because we are a commercial enterprise. But if we're going to tell you which coins to look at in terms of size of coins and whatever, then you need to be looking at anything above $150 million. You want to be looking upwards from here, not downwards, because that $150 million, it really is the break or the make or break for a coin. So look up, maybe not as high as Doge and SHIB, maybe the ones down here, you know, $1 billion or 600 million, 500 million, 300 million. They're the kind of coins where you could make a 2, 3, 4x very quickly. But again, it's a lottery, and that is very important to understand. This is all a lottery when it comes to meme coins. And the acid test, which I've said before, are these coins going to exist in 5 years' time? I would say, in 99 cases, I would say no. I think on the screen now, there will be 4 or 5 of these 7, 8 tokens in existence. If I go down here and I say how many of these tokens are going to exist in 5 years' time, I would probably say 0. You've got to remember, some of them are just Pepe Fork, Grok. Snack is a good project because it's on Cardano, it's suffering, it's a good one. Harry Potter, Obama, Sonic, I mean, you'd have to be crazy to buy these tokens. You'd have to be absolutely crazy. Doge Killer, I mean, really? Don't just follow these tokens and think, oh look, Pitbull. Well, I like Pitbulls, I'm going to buy that coin. It will go to 0. On the whole, these will go to 0. Don't do it. Anyway, that's enough. I'm starting to rant. I will see you all in the morning. Brogan is back tonight in 8 hours' time to do a stream. Make sure you tune in. He's got his long on Bitcoin. And remember, like we said, we put our money where our mouths are. I think he's got a long on Bitcoin. He's longing it from 65 is he longing it from 65.8 or something like that? So if we haven't dropped dramatically, we should still be up. So join me tonight. Whoa, last question. Todd Riley. I like buying microcaps. First 5 minutes, drop 300, sell 300 at 2x, then another 300 if it goes back. Then moon bag with last 300. Todd, I mean, dollar cost averaging out of anything is just as important as dollar cost averaging in. So when it gets to the end of the bull run, if we're sitting here and we've got a $10,000 Ethereum, I'll be selling 1 Ethereum a week, or maybe more, but maybe 1 Ethereum a week. And if it goes from 10 to 12 to 14 to 10 to 8 to 6, dollar cost averaging out might give me an average price of 12,000. And with meme coins, you can compress that. So I was saying before about book of meme, I'm not going to sell everything in one go. I might sell 30% or 40%, then I might sell another 30% or another 30%. But dollar cost averaging out is the best way to do it. Even with meme coins, even when you're playing with meme coins, it's still a good strategy. So I commend you on having the best strategy. And anyway, that's my final point. Thank you for the comment, Todd. One thing I haven't mentioned all stream, and I keep forgetting to do it because we've got so much to talk about. Can I ask you to like and subscribe and follow Crypto Warehouse? Bottom left-hand corner, we've just broken 115,000 followers. We stream in multiple places on a daily basis. So we combine all of those places together to give us a nice, wholesome number. The target for the end of the year is 200,000 followers across the different platforms. It doesn't cost you anything but your time to press follow or like or subscribe. And one thing I'd never ask you to do, if you've got friends that are into crypto or want to get into crypto, send them our channel. Send them the link to our channel on the exchange, to our video platform. Send us to other people, and that will help us grow. And I might start asking people to do that a bit more because it was going to help us, I think. But until tomorrow, or should I say until tonight, thank you, Tartarland. Thank you to everybody that's asked questions. I'll see you all in the morning. Take care. Have a great afternoon.